Hi and welcome to another episode of Roxy's Write and Inspire. And today is another episode about emotions and how you can control your emotions and stop being a victim of others or their moods. So it's a quick guide. Stay tuned. First, let's talk about what are negative emotions. I would say, for example, fear, sadness, jealousy, anger. All these are emotions that if you feel them right now, you will feel it's kind of this bitterness inside you. And these emotions can really start taking over your life and start making things not as nice and not as happy as they could be. So what you maybe eventually want to reach is total calmness, regardless of what is happening out there. For me, at least, that is what I'm aiming at, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. So I would love to share my journey with you. The first step is to notice that whatever is happening, whatever emotion is being caused, that it's not caused by the outside, but that it's caused by the thoughts we have. To give you a practical example of this is, let's say I showed you a picture of a woman in front of a church and she's crying, and you see the woman and spontaneously you would probably also become sad because you're like, oh, you feel empathy for that person. Now, if I tell you that this woman is actually crying because she's seeing her best friend getting married, so these tears are actually tears of joy, your emotion would change straight away. So you would start feeling joy as well. And that is exactly what I'm getting at. The situation itself, the woman in front of the church, the picture is the same in both situations, but your interpretation and the feeling you have by this, that is what changes. And that's exactly how emotions actually work. You see something, a picture, and your inside filter gives you an interpretation, and this interpretation gives you the feeling. So this is something, the picture, you cannot change it. You can't change the trail, you can't change the person yelling at you, you can't change the corona crisis right now. The interpretation in the middle, that is something that is in your hand and that you can change. And that's the beauty of it. Once you acknowledge that, once you really know that, then you have the power over all your emotions. Okay, it's not that easy because, of course, even if you know it, in the moment you get into a negative emotion, you get into a different part of your brain. Let me explain this. We have two parts in our brain, just like to simplify it a lot. One is a very modern brain. So this is where logic happens, creativity, and the older brain is where our subconscious mind works. And this is where all the emotions lie. So as soon as you get into the emotions, you're not in your logic brain, you're in the deeper sections. The problem is that in this part of your brain, you only have 3 responses. That is freeze, fight, or flight. Obviously, these were to make us run from tigers. Nowadays, we don't have a lot of tigers out there chasing us. But what we do have is anger and other stressors. So as soon as you get into the stress response in your body, you only have these 3 options. An example of fighting would be getting angry and yelling. Of flight would be, a lot of people do this when they get angry. They just close the door and they run away. And freeze would be to kind of stand there paralyzed, to start crying and to not be able to react. And these are the only 3 reactions you have available once you get into negative emotions. So the most important thing is to not get into these in the first place. So here are my strategies for you, and it's a very easy 3-step program, which of course will not work from today to tomorrow, but with a lot of time. Some need longer, some need shorter, and with some time you dedicate to this, I guarantee you that you can make a huge change in your life and you can become so much happier, so much calmer, and just overall a more positive person. And this applies to all areas in your life: business, private, biking, so hobbies, anything. Okay, so step 1 is acknowledge the fact that your emotions are not caused by others, but by your interpretation in the middle. Step 2 is to know that once you're in the fight, flight, or freeze reaction, you cannot react with your logical brain. So to train your brain, that is step 2, to get into this reaction later, so to calm it down. And this you can, for example, do by meditating. I know a lot of people are like, wow, meditate, I don't know why I can't do that. It's actually very easy, and there are so many apps out there. The one I use is Meditation, that help you to get into it. And then you will realize that it's doing you good, because what you're actually doing is training your brain to calm itself down, because you have a sympathetic and a parasympathetic process going on in your brain. Sympathetic is anything you need a lot of energy, stress, and parasympathetic is the opposite, so anything you need to calm you down. And by training this parasympathetic response in your brain, you can easily get into it once you do get angry. And step number 3 is to take that anger, whatever it is, the negative emotion, and thank it to change it. I know this sounds really like, whoa, what is she getting at? Weird in the beginning. Why would I be thankful for a person because they're making me angry? Well, here's the deal. If someone is making you angry, then they're actually showing you that there is something unresolved in yourself. Because getting angry always means that one of your needs is not met. And every person on this world basically has the same needs. Of course, we all have different strategies to get to these needs, but we have the same needs. An example of these needs would be being loved, feeling safe, feeling worthy, getting appreciation. These are some of the basic needs, apart from obviously food, sleep, sex. But these are the needs every person out there has. Of course, some have it stronger, some have it a little less, but down there, everyone has them. And as soon as you acknowledge that, you know that if a person is getting angry or jealous or anything, then they are actually fighting for these needs to be met. And so are you. So if someone is criticizing me and saying, you're not doing that right, you're not doing that right, I could get angry at that person. I could say, who the hell are you? And start to judge him. And as soon as I'm judging him, I am not letting this to come close. It's like this invisible wall I'm building. But if I just say, okay, what is he actually saying? I'm not doing this well, I'm not doing this well, I'm not doing this well. And if in myself I have this deep feeling of worthiness, of knowing I am good the way I am, then what he's saying for me is a huge opportunity to learn. So if I can say, okay, he's right. Okay, this is actually, he's saying I'm not doing right, but I'm doing it right because I have my reasons for it. This one, he's right, I missed that. And this one is, okay, I can work on that. So then you only have 2 opportunities, 2 ways to go if someone criticizes you. So if you did something wrong, you can never ever fail. You can either learn or you win. And that is the good thing once you know that. And once I understood that, no more getting angry. I knew, okay, I have this worthiness in myself. I don't need other persons. I don't need to depend on others to fill my worthiness because I have it already. These people making me angry are giving me the opportunity to find another section in myself which I have not worked on yet. So to give myself, to fill my need myself. I hope you understand what I'm getting at. So as I said, meditation is one of the possibilities to get there, to really find that source of joy, source of love in yourself. And then from there on, you will realize that you're just such a calm person because you can stay in that rational brain much, much longer. And that's the point. The more you meditate, the more you, if it's not meditating, then just enjoy something you're doing anyway right now. Let's say you have 3 kids and you're like, I don't have time to meditate. Okay, but you're gonna have a shower, right? So when you're having a shower, stand there, stay in the now, enjoy the feeling of the water flowing over your body, breathe and just relax. Those are the small things you can integrate in your daily life. And that is the parasympathetic response you're training, and that will give you so much more calmness in your life. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do let me know how you handled it, and write in the comments, contact me, and I really hope to see you for my next video.